My name is Orthodox, and this is Cloaked Mysteries. Here, we don't just observe the universe, we question what it hides. And today, we are going to face one of the deepest questions humanity has ever asked. Are we truly alone in the vastness of the cosmos? Or does the silence of the universe conceal something far greater than we can imagine? Ever since human beings first looked up at the sky, the idea that life might exist beyond Earth has never left our imagination. In every ancient civilization, the stars were seen as the homes of gods, spirits, or higher entities, long before science ever tried to explain them. The question of extraterrestrial life is not merely scientific, it is existential. If we are not alone, then our history, our wars, our beliefs, and even our place in the universe take on an entirely new meaning. Everything we believe to be unique may not be so after all. For some, the confirmation of intelligent life beyond Earth would be a source of awe. The idea of advanced beings bringing knowledge, balance, or even salvation sounds almost like a modern myth, a new version of gods descending from the heavens. For others, that same possibility evokes fear. The dread of invasion, domination, or extinction mirrors our own history of conflict between human civilizations. We project onto the unknown the same mistakes we have made among ourselves. Despite centuries of observation and decades of advanced technology, there is still no concrete proof that intelligent beings have ever visited our planet. The sky remains silent, indifferent to our attempts at contact. Even so, claiming that we are alone may be bolder than believing the opposite. After all, the universe is simply too vast for life to have emerged only once. To try to answer this question, scientists turned to mathematics. In 1961, astronomer Frank Drake introduced an equation that would become one of the pillars of modern astrobiology, the famous Drake equation. It was not designed to provide an exact number, but to organize scientific thinking. Each term represents an essential factor for the emergence of technological civilizations in the galaxy. The equation considers everything from the rate of star formation to the fraction of planets capable of sustaining life, including the rise of intelligence and the ability of civilizations to communicate. When we apply conservative values, the results are already intriguing. Even under moderate assumptions, the Milky Way could host more than one intelligent civilization at the same time. If those civilizations last hundreds of thousands or even millions of years, the number grows dramatically. Statistically, it would not be unlikely that someone should have already found us. And yet, there are no confirmed visits, no clear signals, no direct evidence. This inevitably leads us to a disturbing paradox. If intelligent life is likely, why does the universe seem so silent? This contradiction became known as the Fermi Paradox, summed up in a simple question: where is everybody? One possibility is that technological civilizations do not survive for very long. Wars, environmental collapse, or poorly controlled technologies may end a story before it ever becomes interstellar. Just look at humanity. In only a few decades of technological advancement, we have already stood on the brink of self-destruction multiple times. Perhaps progress carries an unavoidable fragility within it. Another hypothesis suggests that advanced civilizations do exist, but choose not to communicate. Not because they cannot, but because they decide not to. This idea became known as the zoo hypothesis. According to this view, we are being observed from a distance, like animals in an isolated habitat. Contact would only occur once we reached a certain level of technological or ethical maturity. The problem is that this explanation requires a level of altruism and restraint that humans themselves have rarely demonstrated throughout history. Faced with this silence, some argue that intelligent life must be extremely rare. Perhaps Earth is an almost impossible exception, a cosmic stroke of luck. Life, after all, demands an astonishing sequence of improbable events. From the emergence of the first organic molecules to the evolution of consciousness, every step seems delicately fine-tuned. If any variable had been even slightly different, none of this might have happened. No cells, no thoughts, no observers of the universe. But this view conflicts with recent discoveries. The more we explore the cosmos, the more we realize that the ingredients for life are common. Perhaps the problem is not the rarity of life, but our expectation of finding it in the same form that we exist. Intelligence may take forms completely different from our own, rendering it invisible to our current methods of detection. In recent decades, science has revealed something remarkable: planets are extremely common. Thousands of exoplanets have already been confirmed, and billions likely exist within our galaxy alone. Many of these worlds lie within the so-called habitable zone, where liquid water can exist. And where there is water, there is potential for life. In addition, organic compounds have been found in comets, meteorites, and interstellar clouds. The fundamental building blocks of life appear to be scattered throughout the cosmos. Water, once thought to be rare, has been detected on icy moons, on Mars, and even in regions where stars are forming. It is not the exception, it is the rule. Another intriguing phenomenon is fast radio bursts, brief, intense, and mysterious signals whose origins still defy definitive explanations. While none of this proves the existence of intelligent life, it all points to a universe that is fertile, dynamic, and full of possibilities. Life is not merely survival, it is organization. It fights against entropy, against the natural chaos that dominates the universe. In just a few thousand years, humanity went from mastering fire to harnessing nuclear energy. Our control over energy is growing exponentially. In theory, advanced civilizations could build structures capable of capturing the entire energy output of a star, such as Dyson spheres. In the long run, intelligence may be the only force capable of delaying the universe's ultimate fate: heat death. This raises a profound idea. Perhaps intelligence is not an accident, but an inevitable consequence of the laws of the cosmos. Perhaps the universe created conscious observers as a way of continuing to exist. The so-called anthropic principle proposes something both simple and unsettling: the universe has exactly the properties it does because, if it were even slightly different, we would not be here to observe it. This is not pure chance, but an extraordinarily delicate tuning of physical laws. Fundamental constants such as gravity, the electron's charge, or the speed of light appear calibrated with astonishing precision. Minor changes would make the formation of stars, galaxies, planets, and ultimately life impossible. This raises a deep question: is consciousness merely an irrelevant byproduct of matter? Or does it play an active role in the structure of the universe itself? Increasingly, scientists and philosophers lean toward the latter. If consciousness is necessary for the universe to be observed, understood, and in some sense validated, then it ceases to be a statistical accident. It becomes an essential part of the cosmic process, almost an inevitable stage of universal evolution. In this context, intelligence does not arise by luck, but by necessity. A universe without observers would be a universe without meaning, memory, or continuity. Consciousness may be the way the cosmos avoids fading into absolute silence. If this is true, then it is extremely unlikely that intelligence emerged only once. Just as critical systems rely on redundancy, the universe likely produced multiple observers across space and time. Therefore, wherever conditions similar to Earth exist, life tends to arise. And where life arises, evolution leads sooner or later to intelligence. Not by chance, but because the very structure of the universe favors this path. If other intelligent civilizations exist, why haven't they contacted us? One possible answer is that the universe is simply too vast for frequent encounters. The distances are not just large, they are almost inconceivable to the human mind. Traveling between stars requires colossal amounts of energy, advanced technology, and timescales that exceed entire generations. Even a highly evolved civilization would face hard physical limits. But perhaps distance is not merely a natural obstacle. Perhaps it functions as a safety barrier, a mechanism that prevents premature encounters between still immature species. Human history shows that contact between technologically unequal civilizations rarely ends peacefully. More often, it results in exploitation, destruction, and cultural extinction. Advanced civilizations may understand this better than we do. They may have learned, perhaps in the most painful way possible, that interfering in the development of another species carries irreversible consequences. Moreover, the instincts of survival and aggression do not seem exclusive to Earth. They likely arise wherever life faces scarcity and competition. A premature contact could turn curiosity into fear and fear into war. Perhaps isolation is a necessary phase, a period during which each civilization must mature, understand its own destructive potential, and learn to coexist with itself before presenting itself to the cosmos. When a species learns to master not only technology, but also its most primitive impulses, contact ceases to be a threat and becomes a natural step in evolution. The universe is not empty. It is silent, and there is a profound difference between those two things. Silence does not mean absence. It means waiting, distance, and perhaps purpose. Maybe the cosmos is filled with life with conscious minds orbiting their own stars, asking the very same questions we are asking now. Each isolated in its own corner, like fighters in a cosmic ring, waiting for the right moment. The absence of contact is not proof of loneliness. It may be a sign that we are still in an early stage of our journey at technological childhood, full of potential, but also full of danger. Before asking where they are, perhaps we should ask who we are. A species that still resolves conflicts through violence is hardly ready to dialogue with the universe. True evolution is not only technological. It is moral, ethical, and collective. Without that, any advancement becomes a threat, not liberation. If contact ever happens, it will not be announced through intergalactic wars or cinematic invasions. It will be the natural outcome of a humanity that has finally understood its role in the cosmos. Until then, there is no need to fear or to rush. The universe has its own rhythm, and everything happens when it must. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe the universe's silence is a warning or an invitation? Are we alone, or simply not ready yet? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective is part of this conversation. If you enjoy mysteries, science, and reflections that go beyond the obvious, subscribe to Cloaked Mysteries. Here, we don't seek easy answers. We explore the questions that truly matter,